Jim Miller, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, Aaron. How you doing, sir?
Good, good, good,
Happy
good.
Friday.
Some
Happy
windstorms
Friday.
here in the DFW area, so I apologize. I don't know if it's affecting anything. How's your Friday going?
Going well. Going well. Thank you, sir.
Great, great. So Jim, thank you all for joining this webinar. Today we wanted to discuss at a high level, right? AI enterprise business strategy. What are these things? How does a business use them? How does a business get started? Very high level, but really wanted to dive deep into it. My name is Aaron Mingani. I lead the head of growth here at Superbity AI. We are an AI agents platform and company that can deploy pre-built, ready-to-go AI agents for any enterprise. With me, I have an esteemed guest, Jim Miller. Jim, would you like to do a quick introduction?
Sure. Yeah, I'm Jim Miller. I work for a company called Forerunner Technologies. We have been around for 30 years, helping people in the communication space in both the SMB and the enterprise markets. And I've been in communications for over 30 years, coming up on 30 years, getting older than I'd like to admit. But I've been in this business over 30 years as well, and it's an exciting time. It's the last few years have been crazy, and it's really really cool stuff that you can do. But if I think that one of the things that people struggle with is, where do I start, right? If I'm a mid-sized company and I hear this cool thing called AI and I want to do it, but it's so overwhelming, and there's so many different types. If I was that company, Aaron, what would be the first steps I would take?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a great question. I mean, to dive into it, right? There's so many different AI terms and solutions out there. So I wanted to demystify that for a couple of seconds, right? So everyone's heard of Copilot, right? They know that, okay, there's this solution called Copilot, which is more of a personal assistant, right? That's something that can help with writing letters, checking on personal documents, asking questions on those documents, getting some answers and feedback from a personal user standpoint. And that, is really, really what a lot of businesses think the AI solutions are, today. There's also something called AI agents, right? And AI agents are more or less enterprise operation workers that can understand entire enterprise operations.
So they complete tasks.
They
So
complete.
they go from, hey, I write a cool, worded letter,
Right.
to actually completing a task.
An enterprise level task. So a good example is anything back office related, right? You have your entire AP system, invoice reconciliation. You have tasks for onboarding employees. You have tasks for doing maybe something specific to your vertical, order processing, whatever it may be. These are agents that they don't, the person won't necessarily interact with them all the time. A lot of the agents run unattended in the background, 24/7, completing specific tasks. So does that make a little bit of sense, Jim, from that level?
Yeah. So if I'm trying to, I have I'm a small company. I've got some pain points, and man, it's so difficult to make sure that people who invoice me, they're invoicing me correctly. I've got to validate it against the PO, against some limits that I put on it. You're saying that an AI agent can do that for me much quicker and a lot cheaper than and less burdensome than the average person having to do it every day and get bored out of their mind.
Absolutely. No, that's exactly right. So AI agents, they have, as workers, right, as operation agents, they have a brain, they have eyes, and they have hands. The hands part means that they can work inside any application, right? Homegrown or enterprise-based application, SAP, Oracle, Salesforce, you name it. These agents can work through that. A brain gives it the ability to understand information at a very deep level. So I could upload training guides, product manuals, whatever it may be that, maybe a current process for a business entails. I'm giving that information to a brain for the agent to look at, right? And say, okay, if I have to go out and I have to, let's take invoice reconciliation as an example. The goal of that AI agent is to capture all of the invoices and all of the supporting documents, right? Purchase orders, rate contracts, timesheets, whatever would go in to an invoice that a company would have to pay. It's different per industry. But now the AI agent can automatically, understand, map the invoice to the supporting documents and say, okay, well, based off of the supporting documents, this invoice is incorrect, right? There's the hours and wage rates are off. There's a difference in tax rates. That's a very common, very popular solution right now that Superbity is deploying to a number of global Fortune 500 companies today. On the flip side, right, we have agents that are doing things in healthcare, right? They're helping with the claims processing task. That's actually agents that are more, directed with humans directly, kind of getting the claim process and giving that back to a human to help make a decision. There's agents in manufacturing that are doing chemical analysis and streamlining, a lot of the operations there. So these are all enterprise related specific tasks that these agents are doing.
So say okay, some of the stuff you just said, oh man, I've got a problem with my invoices. I don't know. It takes me forever to figure it out. How long? One of the things that would concern me is what I have to put into it as a company to get that benefit. Is it a 3-year process of figuring all of these things out? Is it how quickly can I get something that gives me ROI?
Absolutely. No, that's the key, one of the key differentiators. This is technology that's here, available right now, ready to be deployed. If I'm an enterprise that's looking at, adopting some of these solutions outside of, co-pilots or non-automation, non-AI technologies, where I would start is identify what are the biggest pain points my company has today, whether it's department specific, something very specific to my vertical. If I'm in, hospitality or healthcare or manufacturing, let's identify, 5 to 10 major pain points. And these things would revolve around operations that are high volume, lots of, maybe information, lots of documents, very repetitive, very manual. That's really where AI agents can make a big immediate bang, right, and drive ROI. First thing is identifying some use cases, right? I'm working, Superbity today is working with every single industry in hospitality, with pawn shops, with manufacturers, with insurance companies. And you would be surprised the number of similarities of back office issues that all these companies have. And then also the specific problems, right? That they're saying, hey, our company really has an issue around making sure that this type of operation is streamlined correctly. So first things first is figure out your pain points, right? The second thing is, once that's been identified, once you say, okay, this is where I'd like to solve, reach out to Forerunner, reach out to Superbity, just bring the problem, say, hey, how can an AI agent solve my issue today? And that's the benefit, right? Forerunner, Superbity, as a great combination, wants to come as the experts in how to deploy these agents, in real time, seamlessly, and drive that immediate ROI. So first step, figure out your pain points. You have any comments around that, Jim?
No, it's interesting that you say that in terms of picking those pain points from an expectation perspective of level of effort. Once I define a pain point, and we'll just use it again, the invoice has been a pain for me for last years. How long would it take for me to get something that would give me ROI? Am I looking at a 6-month endeavor?
Nope.
What type of endeavor do I have to get into to start seeing some benefits, so I can tell my boss, hey, look, I did this, I solved it, and it worked?
Yeah, absolutely. So Superbity has pre-built agents, invoice processing and reconciliation being one of the 60 plus pre-built agents, right? That means that we know how to that agent is already built. We're just going to reconfigure it for the applications or the specific process that your business has today. So think of it like you're hiring a person, right? You're going to train them on the process. What would you give them? You tell them, hey, these are the types of documents we get. These are the applications we go into. This is the process which we do to reconcile something or process an invoice. That is to the extent of all the information you would need to get an AI agent set up, right? That's exactly what we're doing today.
So it would take, so I would have, hey, this is so instead of going out and getting some new person, or if somebody left, whatever, instead of getting that new person, and it may take you 3 months to get good at it, you'd give it to Superbity AI, and it would, within, I assume, days. Is that, so it's like literally, I can start seeing an ROI within days.
Yeah, once it does. The creation time, the great news is the creation time is minimal, right? It's reconfiguring the agent that's already built. We're deploying agents, pilots in as little as a week to 2 weeks, which is great. And honestly, the biggest challenge there is just scheduling time between the business and Superbity or the Forerunner to get that in place. But it's a very streamlined process. These solutions don't take months to get in place anymore, right? This is something where you've identified a problem, you have the material already. Maybe you don't have the material. That's also fine. That's something that an agent can be developed in real time, just kind of understanding a process as is, or it's something new that's coming out. Superbity has done use cases like that before. Within a couple of weeks, a pilot should be out. You should be able to see exactly how the AI agent is driving ROI, what it's doing, how it's running unattended in the background, and then it can scale from there. And Jim, what I've seen traditionally is it takes one agent, right? It takes one use case.
To start with, basically, the best thing to do, don't try to boil the ocean to start. Start with one agent to solve a very specific problem, get some ROI, prove it out, and then scale.
Absolutely. Gears start turning once one agent is in place. Businesses really say, wow, this is something that can solve a couple of other pain points, right? And that's really where Superbity shines. Is we are a platform to build these agents completely English as code. You're basically telling the agent what you want to do. Hey,
right, as a company, I don't have a bunch of coders, right? So
exactly,
I don't need to know the code. That's actually interesting. So from a Superbity perspective, I don't need to be an AI expert. I don't need to have coders. I can, as long as I know English or whatever language they're
Jim, you don't even have to make the agent. You don't have to do, honestly, the only thing that a business, if they really wanted to do, is just give the pain point business use case. Superbity will reconfigure the agent and deploy it right in seamlessly. Where the platform play becomes important is when you're dealing. Enterprises want to scale agents, right? There's new things that always come up, new types of agents. You don't want to onboard 100 different vendors for 100 different use cases. Right. So Superbity has today over 70 agents ready to be deployed, touching every single aspect of a business, from order processing to back office to member. It really is, name the problem, and there's an agent that.
So what I'm hearing is it's not about the tech, right? It's not about the technology. It's about the having a clear business objective,
right?
And then making sure that you start with a small pilot, that uses the right data, you get some success, and then scale from there. What I've heard about, and we've been doing this for a few months now, is the scalability of Superbity and the ease of use is second to none. Is that true? Is that what I'm hearing? Is that true?
It's really, really good stuff with what's been happening, and just Superbity is really making a name, deploying to the most sensitive of organizations today: hospital systems, government agencies, large Fortune 500 companies. all leveraging Superbity technology. I have a great example. One of our global customers, a shipping company, started with one agent. Today, there's over 15. Oh, and that's my calendar for the next thing. There's over 15 agents today that customer is using, right? And they've really just seen the ease of needing agents to drive some ROI, and Superbity's been able to deliver all of those agents within a year time frame.
Well, it's not a huge investment to start. It's not like, okay, you got to come up with a few $1,000,000 to make it happen, and then hopefully 3 years from now it works.
No,
you can get ROI very quickly.
exactly.
And then scale to get even more as you learn, as your data gets better, and as you start to understand it more.
Think of pre-built agents as a endpoint solution, right? So if we're going back to my favorite, invoice reconciliation, do you understand the capabilities of what the AI agent can do, right? It's capturing all of the documents, it's mapping it, it's making sure that there's absolutely zero discrepancies from the supporting documents, the invoice. It's making sure the business is paying right. But what does that look like to the business? It's a dashboard, right? Anytime I'm running the reconciliation, all I do is go into the dashboard and say where, AI agent, more or less, tell me where the discrepancies are. Bam, here. Now I can hone in and really identify, or whatever I need to do at the next level, whether an agent is taking care of that or the business is reaching out and getting that clarified. It's really simple from a front end perspective. Most of these agents run on the back end, and there's a UI in the front end for somebody to for the business.
So for me, it's no different than going into my Expedia account and I'm looking at and hit some buttons and it comes out. So it's basically an app that just happens to have some really high end talent behind it, but it's not something to be feared in terms of, oh, this AI stuff is crazy, which I think I have to tell you, as a person who's in this business for a long time, and I talk to people, you get the eye roll of, I'm getting pressured for it, but I don't know what to do or where to start. And it sounds like with Superbity and Forerunner, you can get some quick hits, some quick wins, something that gives you ROI to prove it out and for you to learn and get better at it.
Absolutely. And I see a couple of comments, just really honing in on the capabilities. These agents work, they understand unstructured data, unstructured tasks at heart, right? That's a difference between prior technologies, prior RPA, prior legacy technologies. You would have to code something, have coder experience. You'd have to rigidly set that automation to do something that has to follow rule by rule basis. Can't really work with that type of semi-structured, unstructured data. And if there's an exception, it fails, right? Agents are coming in, working with all types of data, really taking that complex, unstructured process and running with it, right? And the exception handling, right? That's a big thing of where agents are coming in. Hey,
everything works great until it doesn't, and it's the exceptions that mess everything up, right? If everything goes smoothly, I don't want. It's that unstructured, unexpected problem that AI can recognize.
Exactly. Okay. That's really driving a lot of immediate, business impact there. And Jim, I know, quite frankly, everyone loves to talk business transformation, digital transformation. In the next year, whatever time frame, the time frames are always getting smaller and smaller and smaller as everyone's attention spans get shorter and shorter. But the business transformation are AI agents, right? They are these AI solutions that businesses can use and deploy, and they run 24/7, and they're empowering business teams, right? And they're empowering workforces to be able to get more things done because it's handling these high volume, unstructured type of tasks that are just a burden on most people's times, right? So customer support, HR, financial operations, reconciliation, auditing, processing. I mean, Superbity, just in the finance space, there's over 25 agents. That's not even going into healthcare specific or
All right.
anything else. So Jim, what's the, I mean, we're at 20 minutes, maybe a couple more minutes. What is your thought here? What is, if you're a business today, what are you looking at?
Well, it's interesting. You used the term business transformation. That term has been around since the 90s. And and it's different ways to transform your business. What I'm hearing about the AI is that it now is going from theoretical, you talk about how do you really transform your business, to ways to actually do it quickly and scale quickly. And so from my perspective out of this, that's what I'm hearing, right? It can fundamentally transform your business without having to invest millions of dollars. That when I was in the 90s and people were doing it, it was multi-million dollars to transform a business. You can do it now in days and weeks. So
Jim, I had a massive wind gust hit me, the house just now, and I think I cut out for 30 seconds.
That's okay. I just said some brilliant stuff. You missed it all.
Maybe that's, some light up there telling us it's Friday. Go enjoy it. Jim, you cut out. Could you say that again for if you don't mind?
Just real quick, just talking about business transformation. It's been around for, 30 years, right? It's been since the 90s, right? And how you can actually transform your business much quicker, not spending millions, spending tens of thousands very quickly and get the ROI. It's exciting time. I'm really excited about it. Anybody who's looking to see if we can do this, if they're trying to dip their toe into the pool of AI, please reach out to Forerunner and Superbity, and we will help you on this journey.
Absolutely. I'd like to mention Superbity and Forerunner have a business AI readiness checklist. Is your business ready for AI? Are you, what are the key components you need? Everything from use case identification to security to deployment, all of those things are included. We make deploying AI solutions easy, and we can explain that in depth. Would love to set up any calls or around that. Jim, before I cut out again, I'd like to just thank everyone for their time. Please reach out to Jim Miller or myself. I love talking to people, and everyone have a great Friday and look forward to next week. So thank you.
Talk to you next week. Thanks, guys. Take care.